So there you have it, following on from what seemed to have been a fairly dramatic week with lots of meaningful announcements in the United States. This has also been a fairly meaningful week in the UK, with the Labour Party signalling a major reset at the India Global Forum. And to get a sort of a closing view on that, who better to talk to than Manoj Ladwa, who's the person behind the India Global Forum, who's put all of this together. Manoj, how do you get everyone from Labour to come out here and change their stance and say we actually love India and we're going to be a completely different party?
I think it's very simple. India is a country on the move. India is a country that is attracting a huge amount of attention because it is now the fastest growing large economy in the world. It's the most populous nation, and it's throwing up so many unicorns, so many trained personnel that the world is now looking to India as the future or the current growth engine for the world, sir.
So Manoj, very clearly, it's almost significant that you had almost more people from the Labour Party here than you actually did from the Conservatives, which is a really dramatic turnaround from the Corbyn era.
Well, yes, I think in many ways, as the Labour Party seeks election to form the next government, you will naturally see that they wish to engage with, in a way that they look as though they are ready for power. And India is one of the most important countries in the world, most important countries for the UK. So it's quite natural for there to be an increasing amount of engagement. What has been quite dramatic is the way in which the Labour Party has actually reached out and Sir Keir Starmer talking about the reset and looking forward and being so positive about all the different areas within which he sees collaboration.
But of course, it's not just Labour. We did hear, the Prime Minister also speaking, talking in very positive terms about the relationship with India. Sort of that's the big story right then, that there's a bipartisan consensus then?
Absolutely. I think that you have a position now where we have a non-partisan view as far as India is concerned. There was a moment in time not so long ago where that India and the British Indian community were almost like treated like a political football. But now you have a situation where there's positivity on both sides of the aisle, and I think that can only be good for the UK and India as it moves towards deeper economic and strategic engagement.
Okay, so what's next from here on? I mean, everyone's going to now sit back and wait for the elections to see who actually wins, or does it not matter?
No, absolutely not. Look, and there's a lot of conversations around, of course, the free trade agreement and the negotiations that happen there. I just say to everybody, well, that will take its course, but there's a whole gamut of conversations and partnerships that the UK and India have in defence, in intellectual property, in education and skills, which
AI increasing by both sides.
Absolutely, where not only will both parties be economic partners, but it seems that they're moving closer towards strategic relationships in all of these very, very important areas.
And there's an important aspect to the last thing, which I'd just like to end on. What we heard emerging from the United States was not just a strategic partnership or a defense partnership or a people-to-people partnership. Underlying it all was a technological partnership, because there's a view that India is now the partner to have for technology. That's what we seem to have heard a lot of from Britain also. So both Britain and the transatlantic alliance essentially saying India is our technological partner.
Yes, and if you just look at one aspect of technology, fintech, the UK is and London has been the financial capital of the world and a leader in fintech. And I think there's a huge amount of learning on both sides in that area with India and its the India stack and how that.
I was about to say, I thought India was now the leader in fintech.
Well,
you can't pay people using their mobile phone as easily here. I'm struggling to get people, payments the way you're used to doing it back in India.
Well, that's the real opportunity, and I think that with the combination of the real firepower of AI, there are limitless possibilities, not just for the bilateral relationship, but for what that could mean for the world and a more equitable, more economically prosperous world as well.